Next. About 100 years ago, my grandfather, Arthur Raines, started work here at Lock 1, along with his brother Ernest and their families. My mother Evelyn used to tell me stories of her childhood in the different lock construction camps as her family moved from one to the next. As a historian, I knew the importance of my mother's memories, and I asked her to write them down. One such story involved my mother, of a child of about 4, fishing with her mother Florence here at Lock 1. Back then, Murray cod were common catches, and on that occasion, my grandmother hauled in a 50-pound whopper. In order to stop it squirming back into the river, she quickly sat on it, and little Evelyn was sent home to get her father, calling out as she ran, "Daddy, come quickly, Mummy's caught a whale." During the Depression years at Lock 7, when the lock workers were placed on half-time work, living conditions became tougher than usual. To raise some cash, my grandmother decided to raffle her sewing machine for threepence a ticket, and my mum recalled being embarrassed as a 12-year-old selling the tickets in the tiny camp to their friends and neighbours. My book writing journey finally commenced when I met Max Pearson, the child of lock builder Bertie Pearson, who started work here at Lock 1 in 1918. Over my years of research, Max Pearson's passion for the history of the locks has been my constant inspiration, and he shared so much of his knowledge of those years in the lock camps. Sadly, in March this year, Max passed away. I had wanted Max to be here today, and in a way he is. He used to say, "My roots are in the River Murray." So I'm sure in a sense he's very close by us here today. I'm glad that Max's wife Jan is here. Jan's welcome and hospitality on my many visits to their home at Waikerie by the Murray has been very much appreciated. Altogether, I interviewed 8 people who spent their childhoods on the locks. One of those beautiful people is here today, Thelma McGare, whose memories and photos you will discover in my book. It was quite common for several members of one family to join the lock building gangs, and Thelma's parents, Arthur and Eva Eddy, moved to Lock 9 about 1924 to join Thelma's uncle. The Eddies moved from Lock 9 to Lock 4 and then to Lock 7 about 1929, before finally moving on to work at the barrages at Goolwa about the start of 1935, when the works at Lock 7 were completed. The next part of my book writing journey involved many trips from Mildura to Adelaide to sift through hundreds of dusty boxes at the State Records of South Australia. The documentary evidence I found reinforces the stories I had been told. The lock people were almost reincarnated, as their determination was written on the pages of petitions demanding better health care and schools for their children at each lock camp. Many have supported and encouraged my years of work on this project, and although I cannot name everyone, it's fitting to mention some of these. Firstly, the Murray-Darling Basin Authority's Chief Executive, Dr. Rhonda Dixon, showed enthusiasm for my work and provided welcome funding for the publication. Other Murray-Darling Basin Authority staff have provided invaluable assistance, in particular Braden Dykes for his help with the graphics and with the book's cover design, and Megan Douglas for her communication expertise. The South Australian History Fund also provided support, and SA Water's brilliant librarian, Hayley Morton, allowed access to official heritage photographs. Professor Geoffrey Blaney took time out of his busy schedule to read my manuscript and write the foreword. Heather Everingham of the Renmark branch of the National Trust and many others provided photos which bring the stories to life. My family and friends have coped with my absence in the office over months which became years. Thank you for your patient understanding of the importance of this project. Marilyn Golke has spent hours poring over proofs of the text, and Christine Schoaf offered the moral support of a fellow historian. Most importantly, I owe gratitude to the lock children of the 1930s, whose childhood memories are featured in the book. Thelma McGare, Max Pearson, Charlie Adams, Murray Brooks, Marjorie Francis, Phyllis Pickering and Evelyn Smith. Their legacy lives on in harnessing the River Murray, and the stories of their families, friends and neighbours are now recorded for posterity. During the 5 years of my book writing journey, it has always been my goal to launch my book on the 5th of June 2015. I'm grateful to SA Water and the Murray-Darling Basin Authority for organising this reenactment and providing me this opportunity to launch my book. It's fitting to have the PS Marion and the school children present, just as they were 100 years ago. Same boat, different children. Thank you also to the Lock men at Lock 1 who've helped prepare this fabulous setting for us today. I thank you once again for attending to remember all those who were involved in harnessing the river. Without their efforts, we would not enjoy the agriculture, industry, commerce, and the numerous communities in the Murray-Darling Basin. As we mark the century, the responsibility rests with us to ensure that this valuable asset, the precious waters of the River Murray, are preserved for future generations by adopting the spirit of cooperation and determination which was so evident in the lock builders' camps along the Murray. We are the custodians of their achievements, and we honour them by entering into their history. You may find that, like me, their stories will connect you more closely with the River Murray. I trust you enjoy the read. The books are available today and I'm happy to sign them for you. Thank you very much.